Welcome to KLEAN Radio on Angels Radio AM 830.
The Sober Lifestyle Show presented by KLEAN Residential Treatment Center, a dynamic and professional addiction treatment facility.
KLEAN Radio features celebrity and professional interviews covering a wide range of topics. If you or someone you know is in need of assistance in dealing with addictive disorders, call us now at 877-830-830 or go to KLEANWithAK, KLEANRadio.com. Now your hosts for KLEAN Radio, Andrew and Judah.
All right, welcome to KLEAN Radio. It's Andrew and my co-host once again, Judah.
Once again?
Once again.
That makes it sound like I might not be.
Well, show number 5. You must be feeling lucky.
I am. I'm always feeling lucky.
I think we have to start out with the mother review.
Yes, my mother hasn't. My mother kept on asking me all week how come it hasn't. She couldn't find it on Facebook.
Oh well.
The show, because we videoed them, and she was very disappointed that she didn't get to see her son in a suit yet.
And she won't again.
And she won't again.
Oh well, I guess she will when the show goes up from last week.
Yes.
Because you were dressed up in a suit.
But you could also find it on YouTube now.
Yes. Yes, it is actually up. You can go to YouTube and just put in KLEAN Radio.
That's KLEAN with a K. Yeah.
Right, and you can watch the show. It's in 4 parts. So, yeah.
So here's an interesting thought I was thinking about, because obviously everybody's talking about Charlie Sheen, right? Mm-hmm. And all he's trying to tell people is that he doesn't have a problem.
Actually, I think he kind of admits he does have a problem, but that he fixed it miraculously on his own through his brain chemistry by pointing at his head.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like Kabbalah of getting better?
Yeah, he went home and he just magically fixed it. So, you know, we'll see how that works out.
But did you see the Alcoholics Anonymous site got hacked?
You know, honestly, just really quickly, the Charlie Sheen thing, I mean, it's been beaten to death. But if you watched him on CNN with Piers Morgan,
Mm-hmm.
it was just a classic example for me of someone bargaining. You know, it's like, oh, I'm clean, I'm not using it anymore. You know, all these people have to get paid. You know, everything should go back to normal. You know, whatever I did was bad, but it wasn't that bad. You know, it's just a very classic example of bargaining, which we see a lot with addicts. And you know, it's just it's hard to watch. And I saw Bob Forrest the next night, who was on our show on show number 3, which I encourage people to go back and watch on the internet. But Bob came on the next night, and I thought it was really interesting what he said, where he said that really what's needed is love and compassion, and you know, some real, you know, hope and tolerance for what's going on with Charlie. So,
well, what's crazy is did you see the you know, every week the creator of the show puts up vanity cards, you know, at the end of the show, and it's like some really like offending vanity cards. Right. So it's almost like, you know, it's like you don't know whose side to take in the, you know, it's like you're like, because, you know, he's fun to watch and you really want to root for him. I think that's part of his problem is, like, you know, it's like when I was a Yankee, I'm a huge Yankee fan. I remember growing up, you know, and Steinbrenner would always hire like Steve Howe, who had been kicked out of baseball 8 times for using cocaine, right. You know, and you were always like, you didn't know what to do. You didn't know, you know, you're like, okay, good, this guy's, you know, a Strawberry or Gooden, and these people with pure natural talent that you almost like it's you're in denial as a fan too.
Or even Mike Tyson, where someone who can, you know, abuse drugs and still function at a very high level. And we see that in all sorts of things, from executives and their jobs to, you know, people that are more famous than celebrities. But clearly, at the end of the day, there's, you know, a lot of pain and a lot of suffering that goes on. So, you know, at some point, you know, you have to be aware of what addiction is and what happens and what can be done about it.
But I just find it fascinating that even like if, you know, I'm in denial about it sometimes because you want to root for these people so, but, you know, that you forget what, you know, what help is needed. Right. You know, and you're like, come on, just, you know, it's like, you know, I want to see your show. Right. You know, just get back on the set.
Yeah.
You know, and if the number here is 877-830-830, that's 877-830-830.
Yeah, we got a great group of guests.
We do,
tonight.
actually.
It's actually probably, I think, our best lineup. I hate to say that from the other people that have been.
That's okay. You can say it. They're probably not listening.
Okay, well, one of our first guests tonight is Brian Scannell, who is well known from The Town and Brotherhood and Gone Baby Gone. Great actor.
Really good. And good guy. Just all around good guy.
And we also have Alan Berger, who is a world-renowned author. He's in the top 20 list on Amazon.
Really?
With 2 books, yeah. 12 Stupid Things That Mess Up Recovery.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's...
I got to get that book.
Yeah, I think you do.
Because I can make it 24.
And 12 Smart Things to Do When the Booze and Drugs Are Gone.
You get it, the theme, it's 12.
It's all 12.
It's all 12.
Yeah.
I should
And
probably
then
read
later
those
we
books.
got Dave Forseth joining us, who's a really good friend of mine and a great comic, sober comic, very funny guy. Got a different perspective on everything, so, you know.
So what else? Where's your wife tonight?
She's at home. She's been on tour. She's been out with Laughs Without Liquor. They did Portland and then San Francisco. So she's been really busy. Yeah, good shows though, seemingly. A lot of support. So it's good.
I gotta go see her. I've never seen your wife perform, and I make the commitment now that next time she is performing in the state of California or the city of L.A., I will be going. I'm not going traveling to San Francisco.
Well, it is kind of rated R, so you know, be ready for it.
She's making fun of you, not me.
True. I guess she is.
And I know she's listening at home. So
That's right.
I heard the show went great, Amy. Good job. And enough about us. But you know, I'm just sort of fascinated by the whole thing. You know, it's you know, you watch people in the decline, in the mental decline. It's a very scary thing watching mental illness.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I mean, you're that whole thing about, you know, what, you know, it's always what comes first, the chicken or the egg. And I'm really fascinated by that. Like, you know, do people treat their mental illness with drugs, or does you do so many drugs that you become, you know, something snaps and
Right.
there's no coming back?
You know, to me, it's sort of like chicken and egg thing doesn't really matter. It's like
Because you're sick.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really
At
matter.
that
You need
point-
help.
Yeah, at that point, why, you know, it's about getting help for both things and doing it in the right order and the right way. And it takes, you know, qualified professionals to really get that done.
And I think it's also important to say that, you know, you do sponsor the show. KLEAN does sponsor the show. We actually have a caller right away. And KLEAN does sponsor the show. But I don't work for you, or as I always say, yet. And
This is Judah's desperate attempt to get a job.
To get a job. But you know, this is about getting help. It doesn't matter if you go to KLEAN or you go, you know, or you go to another treatment center. If you know, if you need help, you could call us. You could call us on our private line also and get, you know, advice. What's the private number?
It's well, you can go to cleantreatmentcenter.com. It's there, but it's also 888-601-6040. But you know, really, this show we like to be about people that are already in recovery, as well as talk about people that need help with recovery. But we'd like to show that once people are actually in recovery, that there's a lot of positive things that can happen in their lives. And this shows a lot about showing the examples of, you know, people that have gotten sober and how their lives have changed for the better.
Well, I think it's really hard to these days because, you know, you see like, you know, Celebrity Rehab is like, you shouldn't be really a returning cast member. It's like one of those shows you don't want to, you know, you don't want a 5-year commitment to.
Well, Celebrity Rehab particularly cracks me up. I mean, first it was like sort of celebrities the first season, right? And then like it was mothers of celebrities like on the show, and like what are they going to do now? It will be like, I'm on Celebrity Rehab, so I'm now famous. Like, is that what the cast is going to be? It's kind of like they're dragging. You want to actually take a call? We actually have a call.
So let's take a call from Monica.
Hi, Monica. This is Andrew. You're on the air at KLEAN Radio.
Oh, hello.
How can we help you tonight?
Well, I actually have a problem. My sister, she doesn't want to admit that she has drinking problem.
Uh-huh.
And, like, I'm trying to help her. Well, you know, like, I want her to, you know, get help. She dropped out of college, and all she does is drink and, you know.
And so how old is your sister?
She's 22.
22. And has she been drinking for a long time?
Since she turned 21, actually. So it's
Wow.
only been, like, almost a year.
Just about a year. And so does she normally binge drink? Does she drink a lot all at once? Or do you see her drinking all the
Yeah,
time?
she
or?
kind of drinks the whole bottle, you know, like.
Wow. You know, it's tough to watch. You know, have there been consequences or things that have happened in her life because of that kind of drinking? Is she...
I don't know, nothing really. She just drinks a lot. Like, her friend, you know, she got into the drinking, so.
So you think it was mostly peer pressure and then she's kind of gotten away from her?
Yeah.
Are you familiar with AlAnon?
No.
Well, AlAnon is for like family members, you know, so because, you know, obviously you're struggling, and it's a support group for you too that you could go, you know, and share about these types of things, so you don't have to be alone.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things that's really difficult with family members is often you can feel angry or resentful or like desperate in trying to help a family member when you know, they don't see that they have a problem with either drinking or drugs. Or the drinking or drugs is trying to tell them that they don't have a problem because they want to keep doing that behavior because for them it seems like it's working. So, you know, the first and most important thing is about trying to be honest with your sister about what's going on and seeing if she's open to having a discussion about it. Have you tried talking to her about it?
Yeah, I tried, and she's always getting upset with me. Like one day she came home drunk, and she was very aggressive. Like, she wanted to hit me, you know? Like, I mean, she never drives drunk or anything, but she really, you know, she's very aggressive when she comes to drinking. When she's drunk, she'll throw anything, you know?
Right. Okay, well, you know, it's a tough situation. I would certainly start trying to, you know, have a conversation with her, even though she gets angry, and try when she's sober in the morning, after she's, you know, not actively drinking. I wouldn't try and confront her when she's drinking. And then AlAnon is definitely a great start. But I'm going to also put you on hold.
In a second.
In a second.
Because Dr. Berger came into the studio, world-renowned Dr. Berger, and he wants to say something.
Okay.
I just wanted to give you a little feedback in terms of what you might want to think about, because I think what the questions you were being asked about, have you tried to talk to her? I mean, the worst time to try to talk to somebody that has a problem is when they're drunk or intoxicated. I mean, they're just not available. So, but I know that that's a time because there's all these feelings going on that you really want to engage the person. So the first thing, if you're going to approach her, you know, like what was being said earlier, you got to think about the time. You know, that's not the best time. So the best time would be, you know, a day later, and to sit down. See, this is the second thing, is we know how people start up a conversation is going to determine how the conversation goes. If I'm talking to Andrew, if I start out by criticizing him, you're likely to do what? Get defensive.
Get angry.
Yeah, get angry, get defensive. So if I start out saying something to him like, look, Andrew, I'm concerned, and would it be okay for you if we sat down and talked for a while? See, that creates more of a possibility between us to have an open conversation where I get to say some of the things. So, you know, we want you to think also about how you're doing this. You know, what's going to happen, because that can be an important thing in terms of being able to...
And also, I think the message is important. What are the tools? You know, where are we going to go with this conversation?
Which is why it's important to go to AlAnon and get, you know, and ask somebody there for help with what to do. Because then you have a support group when you talk to your sister.
That's right.
Because it's the scariest thing to do, because you're scared. You know, you're going to say something to your sister, and she's never going to talk to you again, or she's going to, you know, it's terrifying. You know, I could relate in my own family. You know that. Not in my own immediate family, since my mother might kill me if she hears me say that. But you know, it's scary to want to tell somebody in your family you're sick, you have a problem, because you know they could just shut off and never talk. That's the fear we always have.
I haven't spoke to my younger brother in 2 years, so there you go.
By the way, this is Brian Scannell.
Yeah. And it's scary. Why haven't you spoken to your brother in a few years?
Well, he and I, well, it's the family dynamic, right? And you know, there's some things going on with him and my sister, and I don't approve, and you know, they had a little argument, you know, but these things happen. Like we had an argument on the phone, and I spoke to him probably not appropriately, and we haven't spoken since, and you know, but so that's a valid point, is that, you know, like the doctor said, you got to look at the timing, and then naturally it's always a fear of not and then losing that relationship. And I know when I got sober, my younger brother resented me for getting sober, for quitting drinking, you know, because we were drinking buddies, and he lost a friend. And so, you know, there's all kinds of dynamics in there, but Dr. Berger was right. That's the best time to, you know, you wait a day or so and you know, try to sit them down when they're not feeling so good in the head, but at the same time, they're not under the influence.
Well, we've lost Monica.
Well, I hope that helped her.
And Monica, if you want to call back and get any numbers for help, please do. And the number here is 877-830-830.
Fifth show.
I had a really rough time remembering that number for a few weeks.
Jesus.
I know, right?
I'm 0 for 1. Let's get to him.